Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is TWitWoW in review. Gonna be honest, guys, don't really know what to say about this week. I've checked in on spits and spurts. Obviously, the big story being Roman and Cody, or in our case, and I think in the case of a lot of people, Sammy, KO, Usos, all that stuff in WWE. We just got done this morning, TJPW Grand Princess 2023, which was my personal favorite show of all the TJPW shows I believe we've covered. I've been turning a corner with TJPW as of late. I was kind of meh on them at first, but I've really grown to like them in their own way. I do think they have problems that we actually talked about pretty extensively in the live reaction. So any TJPW fans or anyone that's been curious, check it out. I would recommend listening to our live reactions and our kind of more meta discussion about TJPW. And AEW, it seems like we kind of know where they want to go with the world title picture. And I can't say that I'm too enthused, but I'd like to be a bit more substantive than that. So when that time comes, I'm sure we will. So all in all, I'm pretty meh on this week in the world of wrestling, but probably more from my ignorance than anything else. Oh, and I'll be honest, Dom Rey Mysterio continues to do stuff for me. I thought Rey had a great promo this week. And yeah, this is all good stuff for Dom. But again, I assert the question: can he balance himself when everything that's underneath him supporting him, the Rey feud, Judgment Day, whatever, bottoms out? So with that said, partner, I'm gonna hand it over to you. How did you feel about this week in the world of wrestling?
I really wanted to muster up a big fat raspberry to blow when you asked me that question, but you caught me a little bit by surprise, so I didn't really manage. But yeah, no, it was a pretty shitty week in my opinion. It was pretty bad.
Damn, I like how you're like, I wanted to take that shit, but you caught me off guard. Still, no, it sucked. So it's like I'm standing firm, just not as grand as I would have liked to. Yeah, man, it feels like it's been a trend as of late, and it's a bit concerning given that part of the week of the world of wrestling is the road to WrestleMania. And I know, like, a lot of fans, even those fans that are like, because I feel like we got out of this phase a few years ago, or at least it feels like a few years ago, where it's like, look, I know it's bad, but sometimes it's really good and it's worth staying. Like, God, you ever just hear it out loud and think like, my God, it's just toxic on all sides. But yeah, even knowing what's happening on the road to WrestleMania isn't really doing it for you, and for me to a degree, and I'm sure a lot of other people. Bit concerning, but I guess we can open. Did you have any residual thoughts about Grand Princess from this morning about TJPW?
Oh, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really fun. The tag title match was great. The world title match was great. The International Princess title match was really good, but not as good as Miyu's matches have been prior. And I liked some of the special singles matches that we got, and I enjoyed some of the undercard matches even. So it was very, very solid TJPW show, but top to bottom, really.
I will say, having meditated on the show a bit more. Oh, by the way, welcome, Foster. Love you so much. And I'm going to say, Foster, that I did not get a chance to peek in on NXT. So if Gulak and Charlie Dempsey were doing any of that delicious technical wrestling, I unfortunately was not privy to it. So if you could fill me in the chat, that would be much appreciated. But I will say, having meditated on the TJPW show, again, I really do like it. I think our discussions about Camille, which I, thought was a great discussion, TJPW as a whole still remain valid. I will admit, and I will apologize, TJPW. I believe I was a little too harsh on the International Princess Championship match. I do think it shows what a big fan of Miyu Watanabe I've become. And I will say, even though I still disagree with her losing the title, we've got to see if she's going to win the tournament or not. And if she doesn't, then I'm just going to double down and be like, that was a horrible decision. And if she does win the tournament, I'll be like, cool. Can't wait to see her versus whoever the champion will be, presumably Mizuki, which congratulations to her. What an emotional freaking bout that world title match was. That was incredible. Um, but yeah, as far as Miyu and Rika Tatsumi and their matchup, I thought the Dragon Sleeper swing, that was my favorite spot of the whole show, to be quite honest. And that includes like the world title match because that adds some really stiff, aggressive stuff.
You
But
know what, dude?
that
I think
Dragon
my
Sleeper,
favorite moment in the whole show, I don't know if you want to call it my favorite spot in the whole show, is the Whirling Candy by Mizuki. That felt like the turning point in that match that led to her win.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I definitely agree because I feel like after that moment, Yuka never really got the ball back. And yeah, I will say, man, like that. Yeah, Javaris Mizuki is the new world champion. She fucking beat Yuka, if you could believe it. I thought Yuka was gonna go on a monster run, bro. Mizuki pulled it off. And I wasn't even mad about it, which shows how like believable and how wonderful Mizuki must be as a babyface. Which isn't to say that Yuka is a heel, but she sure as shit was wrestling like one for the past couple of months. Um, so I'm excited for Mizuki's reign. I will say, feel good moment of the show for me by far was Maki and Miyu Yamashita winning the tag titles.
Yeah, that was really
Their
cool.
first tag titles as individuals, and obviously then as a team. Uh, this is a card that I think TJPW played right. We've known about the Miyu Yamashita Maki Ito friendship for a long time, and have it pay off this way. I mean, in a way, I have to say it's superior. I can't believe that I'm saying this. I can't even believe that I thought to say this. It's superior to me in a way than what WWE is gearing up seemingly to do with Sammy and KO beating the Usos because it didn't feel as contrived, but still earned. And I think that's a very fine line to walk when you earn something, but you don't so heavily manufacture it that it's like, why? Especially when you have better stories on the table, which I feel like in Maki and Miyu's case, they didn't have better stories on the table, which is all the more reason to do this, right? Whereas with Sammy and Kevin, we've already talked about Sammy and Jay are a more compelling pairing. And for me, loving KO as a babyface, I still wish he would be the one to beat Roman, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that ship has fucking sailed.
Yeah.
Um, but they had better stories on the table. Um, Maki and Miyu, I think this is a great time for them to do it. And then you bringing up that Maki could challenge Mizuki in the future for the world title, and given their whole dynamic, which I'm reminded of Joe Shizzle's great analysis of that relationship. Yeah, TJPW, they are doing a lot good. I do worry about the problems, and I'm also curious, I will say, about the open roster call that they put out on that show. And we already got to see some new rookies, and I know there were two of them that I really liked, and it was kind of consensus in the TJPW community. You told me between those two, which I believe it was Wakana Uehara, and then to be honest, I'm already blanking on the other
Himawari.
one. Himawari, that's right, she was really good. And then Suzuki, I know they noticed the selling of her. You
Shino
told me
Suzuki.
Shino Suzuki, yes. Um, so yeah, it's just going to be interesting in the rest of the calendar year how TJPW is going to develop because there's a lot of good, some concern, but a lot of good. And yeah, like dude, Saki-sama, May Saint Michelle, a
Dude.
whole ass fucking mood. The
Right,
the
though.
best of pro wrestling. Like
Truly. They're awesome.
goddamn, goddamn. Um,
Another amazing spot from the night last night was Saint Michelle laying her little fucking serving tray in the middle of the ring and then just waiting for Billy Starks to slip on it and then celebrating when she did. That was amazing.
that was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Javaris, you should absolutely go back and watch the rest of the show because I know, unfortunately, you've been spoiled on it, but you know that we kind of encapsulate the whole week in the world of wrestling, so it's kind of in the title. But I would still go on Wrestle Universe and watch it.
Well,
It
really, I
was
would say
again,
the two best matches are the last two matches. Those were the two best matches on the show.
yeah, absolutely,
The tag titles and the
absolutely.
world title, yeah.
And again, I enjoyed the undercard. Again, this is my favorite TJPW show. I think that we covered. It was one that I think it never really lost me, even when I was pissed, because being pissed is just another form of being engaged, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there you go. That's TJPW. I know Stardom. It's been kind of weird because we're like on top of our Stardom coverage, but I know we're waiting for more stuff. I personally, for me with Stardom, I'm kind of tunnel vision until the Cinderella tournament. Like that's what I'm barreling towards personally. And then I want to slow time down to just a snail's pace so that Himeka never retires. But
Oh.
that's yeah,
Well,
that's
to
where
be
I
fair
am.
though, even before Heymecha's actual retirement date at the very beginning of May, we do have Golden Week.
Yes, I know, dude. I know you've been so stoked on Golden Week. I hope we get a proper Golden Week because I feel like
Yes.
that's kind of the unicorn we've been hunting for as a podcast.
Yes.
Do a proper Golden Week. And I'll tell you, For me, I mean, you want to talk about a unicorn, this would be like a diamond unicorn for me. It's like leveling it up. If we got a proper golden week with fucking streamers and everything else, because TJPW had streamers and I popped for the streamers too. I'm like, God, they did streamers for every match.
Dude, I feel like Pam Harajuku got the most streamers on the entire show.
As she fucking should, because she's precious. Fucking love that woman. So yeah, man. Yeah, Joshi, we beaten good, us Joshi fans, I feel like. But then we must return to Earth, or in other words, America, where
Aw,
wrestling has really
boo.
Yes, I know. I hate it too. But
Can we talk about? Do we want to just open with talking about and shitting on the most self-indulgent masturbatory segment of the entire week?
I feel like I don't know if we're thinking of the same one, so I'm just gonna let you say what you feel like it was. I feel like it has Cody in it, right? It has to.
No, believe it or not.
Holy shit, what was it?
The 4 pillars of AEW.
Oh my, you know what? Actually, I'm glad we're talking about this first because this would be the freshest thing for me because I shit you not. I know the kind of day you've had today. You've been very busy and had to recharge. And you're more responsible than me anyway, so you can do that. For me, because I didn't want to be a bump on a log, I actually watched this segment before the show today. Um, here's my serious criticism because I could turn up on this so easily, right? I actually feel like Jungle Boy had the least bad promo of the lot, believe it
Wow.
or not. Yeah, because Darby
Dude,
was just
Darby fucking awful. Holy shit.
yeah, Darby was cringe as shit, and Sammy is Sammy.
Dude,
And to be
Darby
honest,
literally sounded like someone doing a Jeff Hardy impression.
yeah, like, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't, I've been very critical of MJF, and I try and be as even-handed with everybody. I thought he had some of the best clapbacks against anybody, against these three fucking people, because when he kind of clapped back at all of them, I'm like, true, true, very true. When it came to the shit he said about, Sammy, because fuck Sammy Guevara more than anybody in that room. Well, Darby is an abusive piece of shit, so probably fuck him more than anybody. But Sammy's right behind him because he's a petulant little shit. But yeah, I thought Jungle Boy was like the least bad to me in the segment. But I think my more serious critique really amounts to this felt so unearned.
Yep.
Like, you talk about these guys, right? And this is what I'm kind of gesturing at when I say unearned. You talk about these guys as pillars. Every wrestling company has its quote unquote pillars. But if they're actually legitimate pillars, when they get in the same ring, it should feel like, oh shit, it's happening. I know not every encounter can be like a Rock Hogan or even a Rock Austin. But when Cena and Roman did their thing and Cena kind of trounced him in the first promo, and then when they ran it back, recently, like last year or two, and Roman kind of held his own and then he beat Cena in the match, like that felt special. That felt earned. These guys, I mean, what did Darby just do? He beat Christian, who I love Christian, okay? But
Wait,
he
that
looked
was
like a
Jungle
joke.
Boy.
That was Jungle Boy, excuse me. Jungle Boy. I meant to say Jungle Boy. I said Darby. So I'm getting all these mixed up. But Jungle Boy beat Christian, but like he looked like a joke for most of the feud. Hated his promos, which is why I felt like the promo he had here was definitely a step up because he didn't try and like be like, oh, Alvin, like he actually spoke some truth. He said like there are people that don't even get 60 seconds on the show, which we've talked about before. And he's like, you get, you're the priority. You get 20 minutes. I'm like, honestly, it's getting a little meta for me, and I think that's why I'm more forgiving of Jungle Boy's promo here. But still, he looked like a joke to me for most of that feud, and then he wins a fucking buried alive match or some shit, and then it's
The
like,
Last Burial was what it was called.
yeah, exactly, the last burial. Which, wow, Jesus fucking Christ. That's another thing too. Like, I didn't like how much this segment kind of peeled back the curtain in some way because they were using some insider terms too. Like, oh, it was fucking Sammy. God, I hate Sammy Guevara so much because he was using terms like, oh, I was told I was to be nothing more than the inner circle's job guy. Like, oh my God, we get it. You're smart. Your audience is quote unquote smart. We all know the insider terms, but can you at least try and tell me on a fucking story? Like, you would never heal. Like, I know we made a joke about like Hazuki saying like, oh, baby face, but I was able to forgive that because I think it was just her saying like, me going good after I've been with Oedo Tai for so long.
Yeah.
Like, I could look past that. But you never see like Waka being like, oh, I got tired of being Cosmic Angel's jobber or whatever. Like, I would just never expect her to say that. And it would piss me off if she did. It's so annoying. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you're
I mean,
so
the
cringe.
thing is, if you're gonna talk up in those terms, you at least use terms that non-wrestling fans would use, like Pin Taker
Yeah,
or like Fall Girl in that instance
yeah,
with Waka, or I guess in Sammy G's case, Fall Guy.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
no, of course, Job Guy. Fuck off.
Jesus Christ. Um, Darby, Jesus Christ, what even
Bro,
was
oh
that
my
from?
god, dude. I literally heard, I think, like 4 lines of his promo, and I rolled my eyes harder after each one.
You know, I know this is just, well, I shouldn't say it's just me, but I only like speaking for myself because it's the only place of confidence I should speak. Every time I look at his face, I just see the guy that wanted to start shit with fucking Cora Jade and can't keep his own fucking house in order. So when you're trying to tell me or sell me on this sympathy of, oh, pretty much like an edgier version of Johnny Gargano, bet on yourself bullshit, I just look at you and I'm like, you're a piece of shit. I'm not rooting for you. I don't root for you. And I'm sorry again, like none of these people have really been built up to circle back to my original, more serious, less like personal caustic point of like, I don't like you and I don't like you as people. It's more just as a company, what have these people done that have really made them feel like megastars? MJF, whether we like it or not, and this is just my opinion, he is right when he says like he's the only star in that ring because he's the only one that's been positioned as one. And I'm not saying like that's on MJF's efforts like alone, right? Like clearly when they say the machine got behind you, there is some truth to that. They give him the promo time. They allowed him to do the work shoot. They've given him the storylines and everything else. They had him work with CM Punk and all these other guys. I know Darby got to work with Punk like in Punk's return matchup, but I'm talking like a full fucking program, not just a one-off match. You know, MJF, because of how he's been positioned and portrayed, feels like the only star in that fucking ring. But yet it's supposed to be a big deal because it's the four. These aren't four pillars. It's one pillar, and I can't believe I'm agreeing with MJF, but I'm agreeing with him for more meta reasons. It's one pillar and three people that you've just never really gotten off the ground, at least to me.
Yeah.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
really, I hate to say it, but the closest guy in this group that's ever got that's come to getting off the ground is Sammy with the TNT title runs that he had, but he has ruined that for himself by being a jackass.
Exactly, which MJF also brought up, like, oh, it's nice of you to join us, and when you're not getting in fights backstage. And it's like, and again, like this whole insider peeling the curtain back, it's like, oh my God, this forced edginess. Like, I'm fucking 31. Can we please just either kill me or do something else? I honestly don't care which when I'm watching this product.
Yeah.
Like,
It's because that's the thing too, right? It's almost like the Britt Baker promos that she was cutting a while ago, where she was talking about, oh, Thunder Rosa sandbagging people and shit like that. It's like your audience is comprised of maybe like a few 100,000 people that are privy to that shit. But you don't want to play to that portion of your audience. You don't want to go out of your way to pander to that specific portion of your audience. That is the portion of your audience that will stick with you no matter the fuck what. You want to work on bringing in new people, and that is a great way to do the exact opposite of that. That's a great way to alienate people.
bro, can you imagine for just a second if Roman and Sammy, which was an amazing fucking story,
Yeah.
had promos where Sammy was like, "Oh, Roman, I never believed when people said you politicked backstage because we were always tight and it always meant a lot to me because I was nothing more than a jobber at once." Like, it would be so fucking grating. And I'd perfect my Undertaker impersonation because my eyes would perpetually be in the back of my fucking head. But like, we don't see that because these people treat the characters and the stories those characters create as real as reality itself. That's the magic of pro. You have to commit. And there was a camera shot during this segment, and it kind of stuck out to me because I'm like, wow, that's the fan they're doing the biggest disservice to. Where it was a child in like Darby Allen face paint. I don't fucking judge the kid for that. God knows I have a track record of really taste that ages poorly. Um, but it's like, can you at least keep the magic alive for those fucking fans? Just a little fucking bit. Do you have to peel back the curtains so hard that like you see everything? It's I don't see the point of it, and it's so goddamn stupid. But yeah, this is probably going to be a fatal four way or maybe a triple threat with these guys, and I could see personally Jungle Boy or Darby, because I don't think Sammy, who's still a committed heel, obviously is gonna get it. But I'm thinking Fatal 4 Way, and that way, MJF can like sneak a pin in, retain the title, and then be like, "Oh, I beat all three guys." And then maybe if you wanted to later make Jungle Boy or Darby more of a focused singles feud, they can do that. But yeah, I'm not excited about any of that. I think it's ridiculous. It's uninteresting. It's unearned. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, no, dude, it's you talking about how it's unearned is pretty much exactly how I feel. It's just really frustrating to see this shit happen. And it's like, you just know that Tony Khan is backstage smiling, thinking this is great shit. And it's like, he just doesn't know any better, He just doesn't know. He's just not aware. He doesn't, he has his ideas of what makes for good shit. And he's basically writing for an audience of one because he's basically just fucking Vince. He's just a fucking, I don't know how old he is. Gen X, I'm assuming, maybe millennial version of Vince McMahon. He is writing a wrestling show for himself to entertain himself. He does not give a fuck what anyone else thinks, and it just so happens that he is one of these fucking internet fan types that is like touch with like the internet dirt sheets and all that bullshit, and he is writing a wrestling product that appeals to him, and it just doesn't appeal to the masses is the problem.
Yeah, yeah. It just guys are dispiriting. I'll be honest, I really didn't see much else from AEW this week. Like that was just the big segment that got advertised to me on YouTube, and I really didn't bother to dig any further. What fucking else happened? Actually, no. You did say you wanted to start with the most like self-indulgent segment. So if you don't want to go further into AEW, I understand.
That was just
Um,
the segment that just stands out the most in my mind as like a what the actual fuck is going on right now. I think really that's like really you could simplify it to just saying that's just the segment that stands out the most in my mind this week. Just period. That's just it.
yeah. I'll tell you what kind of stood out to me. Jesus Christ. Cody Rhodes as spiritual father figure and mediator. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Why? Why? Like, okay, on one hand, I can answer my own question, right? Because narratively, all three guys are bound by the same goal. Guys, we got to take down the bloodline. And so you want a united front. I get that. But also let's not be naive. We've talked about this before on this particular show on the podcast. We know that they want to keep Cody's overness going. They want to feed it as much as possible. So he's kind of piggybacking off of the long history and relationship between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I don't understand why he had to be in the middle of this being peacemaker. I would have liked if these two guys just did it some other way within the bounds of their
Was this on
relationship.
Raw?
This is on SmackDown this week.
Huh.
Cause
So he was the one that got them to reunite, basically, Cody.
exactly, dude. You want to know how obnoxious this was? Like just Cody being like, "Oh yes, I'm great." He tries the mediation in one segment. KO seems like he's not going to bite because of course he is. We know the KO character well enough by now. Then at the end of the show, you know that Jay and Sammy had a promo off, which was really good. I have to give both guys credit because I'm still loving that relationship. That relationship is um I'm reading Foster's messages and I'm like, dude, you get it. God Foster. Um it's like it's still the most compelling relationship in the company to me, Jay and Sammy. So Sammy hits Jay with a hard truth. You're not mad at me, you're mad at yourself. You're not angry that I hit Roman with a steel chair. You're angry that you're not the one that got to do it. And crowd gave a little gasp to that. And yeah, like you can see the look on Jay's face. Like he even kind of averts his gaze from Sammy for just a second, which shows that like, oh man, that thought he
Yeah.
got me. Like I'm dwelling on it. Great acting by Jay here. Again,
Truly.
I really have to continue to praise his work because I know it's so easy to overlook him now that Sammy is like a supernova in terms of over with the crowd and everything. Usos start attacking. KO's music hits. He comes from behind. He clears it out. And then they hug, which, that's like the hug scene around the world right now. I think, it's done really well. But then it pans to Cody in the back watching the hug, smiling to himself. And I'm like, what the fuck? This dude, you can just see, like, oh, yes, Cody, you did it again. You mended racism and now you're mending friendships. You know, you've is there anything you can't do, Cody? Like I'm willing to bet that he talks to himself in the third person at some point in the day. I'm convinced. But yeah, yeah, Cody ended racism and fixed Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. He's done the seemingly impossible twice over. Our Lord and Savior of professional wrestling, everybody. So yeah, to say that that was obnoxious, under fucking statement of the century, as far as I'm concerned. Jesus Christ.
I love everyone in chat too. Alex Foster talking about they literally showed Cody smiling when Sammy KO hugged. Like, why? Then Javaris, why the fuck is Cody the reason Sammy and KO reconciled? And then Abel's my favorite. Like the video if you want Cody to end poverty next.
Also, I want to touch on what Foster said. Okay, I may be reading way too much into this, but does it make Sammy look like a dick when he tells Jay that it's his choice to stand there? You know what, Foster? I am so glad you brought that up because I'd be a hypocrite to say anything other than yes, it does make him look like a dick. Because I have said countless times, both in like real life situations, working a crisis line, and in certain media that I enjoy, that characters that have a hard, or just real life people that have a hard time extricating themselves from abusive situations deserve support and sympathy to a certain point because you've got to be able to read the line between are they not leaving because it's genuinely perilous and deleterious to them and there's a lot of genuine fear there, or because it's a toxic codependency, and sometimes it is both. One can very easily morph into the other, right? But I think in any case, whatever it is, for Sammy to say that, I think it lacks a bit of empathy on his part. I do believe him when he says like he loves Jay and he loves the family. That's why this relationship is so believable. But we don't always get things right in those relationships, right? And I think that's important. Jay, because I've even seen like a lot of fans of this angle, which isn't to say that I'm not one, but obviously we wanted it to go a different way. Say that Jay stayed because he didn't want Jimmy to get hurt. He's always like thinking of Jimmy. He's always prioritizing his sibling, his
Yep.
brother. And you know, maybe him and Sammy are in it. God, I fucking wish. It would really be a mind fuck if Sammy and Kevin won the tag titles, lost them, and KO threw a pissy fit losing them, turns on Sammy again, because of course. And then we run it back, but this time with Sammy and Jay, like doing stuff together. I want that relationship to be mended. Maybe Cody can do that too. Um, but yeah, I don't, I
Yeah,
don't,
it would be nice if Cody would have spent his time trying to mend that fence rather than the one that he did.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
apparently
Uh,
Cody just has the magic fucking touch right now.
Dude, I know. I'm telling you, Abel's making some points. Honestly, Cody can end poverty. Why haven't you gone to Congress, Cody?
Bro,
He could
fuck
end the
poverty.
Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Cody could end
Yeah,
capitalism.
dude, I know. I know. You would just have to cry at the right time. And my father, he kept a copy of Marx in his bedroom, and I knew the Rhodes family had to make communism a reality. It's like, yeah, do it, man. Do your fucking thing, man. Because clearly it fucking works. Fucking works for somebody.
When
So
he
yeah,
talked about whining and dining with kings and queens and sleeping in alleys and dining on pork and beans, I knew in that moment that the divide between classes had to end.
amazing. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So Foster, I just want to circle it back to you. You made a very salient point there in my mind. And I think if this was a different channel and I was on a soapbox, we could do a whole fucking video essay about like why these cultural things kind of matter, you know, these cultural artifacts of wrestling, of theater and stuff like that, and the themes they talk about matter. It's why I love Lucha Underground when they did a brilliant, in my mind, anti-war storyline with Fox and Killshot. I thought that was incredible. This I still think is incredible and has a lot of worthwhile themes, but again, it doesn't always get everything right. And so I'm really happy you brought that to our attention. So that was a highlight, but Cody again just so over involved. Like, is this the KO and Sammy story, or isn't it? Like, whose story is it, or is Cody just a part of everything? I'm amazed he hasn't gotten involved in Rhea Charlotte yet, just to make that about him. You know, Charlotte as a fellow nepo baby. um, but yeah, what else to talk about?
If you don't have anything coming to your mind right away, I can bounce us back to AEW and talk about a good thing, which is Taya Valkyrie officially having signed with them.
I did see that. I meant to watch the video of like her debut before we got on here, but I will admit I got distracted, so I apologize everyone. But I'm guessing you saw it. Like, how did she look in her debut? Did she win? How was it
Uh,
all like?
well, so on Wednesday she just debuted by showing up and like existing after Jade Cargill literally squashed Nicole Matthews. Do you remember Nicole Matthews from the one NYC?
I do, I do.
Yeah, yeah. Jade beat her in like 30 seconds.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was really bad. But then she talked about, she's, not done. She's not tired yet. Bring someone else out. Taya came out, and you would assume with the way that Jade talked that we would have gotten a match, but no, she just came out and looked menacing. She just stood there menacingly.
Yeah,
But then no, we got Taya's first match on Rampage last night, and it was against pretty much just like a no-name jobber, and she squashed her as you'd expect. She looked great though. She still looks great.
yeah,
She's still moving
yeah.
great. Everything. Yeah, I'm stoked to have her, man. The thing is, I love when we get talented women in general, but especially when we can get talented bigger women that can move like her. Like they're not a dime a dozen. They're rare. They're not very common. They're not, easy to find. There aren't that many in the wrestling business. Uh, First of all, there aren't that many big women in the wrestling business to begin with, but then finding the ones that can actually move is even harder to find. And yeah, Taya is one of the few, and she's an ass kicker, and she's one of the very few women that could be believable against Jade Cargill. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the match they have when they do.
I think that was fantastic, and I'm not even going to try and meddle in that with any extra commentary. So I guess for me to
Aw,
take the ball
Abel,
back,
thank you. Abel said, like the video if you think Ashton could be a voice actor.
yeah, your nephew believes in you. How does that feel?
Honestly, if I ever have any motivation to leave my current gig, that would probably be a career that I'd be willing to pursue.
There you go. There you go. Something to think about. Um, I will
Especially
talk.
for like fun, like anime shows. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild. Love to see that for you. I will talk about Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio.
Ah, nice.
Um,
Yeah. Actually, I'm glad that you're going to talk about this because I saw them doing stuff, but I have no clue what was said between them, and I have no clue what the storyline progression was. So you get to fill me in on this.
so pretty much Dominic, treaded the same beats, which that isn't a criticism. It's just, I guess, the pocket he's in right now. Um, saying that Ray was a deadbeat and whatever, and this is the Hall of Famer you're honoring. Ray comes back and he says, you're right. I haven't been the best father, but everything I did, I mean, Foster's not necessarily wrong. Because I think, wasn't that
I
on
saw
Monday,
that
Foster?
segment. Or I saw that. I actually did see that part of the promo where he talked about how all my friends showed up in brand new Mercedes and you got me a BMW and not even an M series.
Yeah. To clarify, just so that we're all on the same page, my mind immediately jumped to SmackDown because I actually forgot that they did that Raw segment. But yeah, that was a standout line. Um, Dom keeps challenging Ray for WrestleMania. I know he denied it on Raw. On SmackDown, though, Ray got to say a bit more, which is why I was more dialed in on this. Saying like, yeah, I wasn't the best father, and there were things I missed, but I did all of it so that you, your mother, and your sister could all have a life that I never had, that I could only dream of. And if we're again, because you and I are more politically and sociologically minded, or we at least try to be on this podcast. Everybody's constantly learning, right? That's the beauty of the human experience. We know that Ray, being Mexican and everything else, and going from one country to the next and being like an international star, it comes with its trials and tribulations. We've seen that with plenty of Joshi talent to try and emigrate to America and make something, whether because of racism or what have you. So when Ray talks about that, he talks about, look, and that's always kind of the generational. I hate to say burden because I don't mean to be caustic about it. Although under capitalism, I would say it's a burden that shouldn't have to exist. Just the generational desire, right, to give something better to the ones that come after you, so that they can build on that. And that's where Ray's coming from. And I thought that was very powerful. And I know I joke a lot about Ray, but I always feel the need to be sincere every once in a while so people don't forget what I actually believe. And I think Ray is a great talent. I've never cared for him much as a promo, though, which is all the more impressive that he did good work here. I've always felt like Ray, if I'm being perfectly honest, was a bit cliche on the mic, with the underdog platitudes and all that stuff. But here, he's not speaking as an underdog. He's speaking as a human being. He's speaking as a father, and that works. That really works. I love he kind of undercuts Dom a little bit. I don't even know if he meant to. But like he says, like if it was any other uh punk ass kid and whatever, disrespectful punk ass kid, I'd beat his ass. And again, I like that. It's rare that you see a character like Ray showing such confidence and conviction in that way. And he says, but unfortunately, you're my son, which could be read in a multitude of ways. Like, wow, I love you, but I'm really disappointed in you right now. I'm not mad, just disappointed. Or like, man, I'd love to beat your ass, but you're my kid, and that's really not going to square well with Angie when I go home and all that stuff. And so again, he just says, no, I'm not going to fight you. I will say it's interesting the era of WWE that we're in because personally, I feel like by now Dom would have already had a segment with his mom where either he shoved her or God forbid, like yelled at her, tried to corner her, maybe like implied that he was going to hurt her, and that's what makes Ray snap. Because I said this, I think Javaris can even corroborate this for me because I think I said it to him in a Discord conversation when we were all together on a game night. I said, Javaris, watch. Dom's going to get ready to fight him by going after Andrew, just going after their family in another way. Because Angie has been in a few of those Twitter segments that you see uploaded. They crashed the Valentine's Day dinner when she came home on Thanksgiving and did all that. She was there too. And so I feel like she still has a part to play in the story. She's going to be the catalyst that makes Ray turn around. If they don't do that, I'd be curious how they would get us here because Ray as a character seems so adamant. Like, I'm not fighting in WrestleMania. He said, I'm not fighting you ever. It's never happening, Dom. You got to let it go. So what's the breaking point? What's the point where Ray is like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to beat your ass. They could go comedic and we could have Dom falsify papers and be like, well, I'm not your son, remember? I'm Eddie's son. So problem solved. I don't know. They got to figure it out. But this was, I'd say, a standout promo for Ray, at least for me, because as a guy that's never cared for him on the mic or anything. And again, Dom is doing his part well enough. I'm not going to hate. I'll take him over Charlotte or Raquel or Cody or any of the other Nepo babies we fucking got. I just, again, I have to wonder, can you sustain what you're being given when everything bottoms out? And I've already said, I don't think he can, but we'll see. But this is a great segment. I'm actually looking forward to the match at WrestleMania. And yeah, I really can't say that about much on this card right now. So yeah, that was that segment. And Raw was good too, because that whole Mercedes line was just fantastic. So clearly see that he's a petulant, spoiled child, but he's trying to act tough. And got to wonder if in the course of the match with Ray, like if he'll be exposed as such and, what'll happen in the aftermath. But yeah, good stuff all around.
All right. So, what do we talk about next? Do we want to talk about Powerhouse Hobbs defending the TNT title on Rampage last night?
Who did he defend it against?
I'm trying to remember, and the fact that I just said that means that someone in chat is going to say it before I find the answer.
Yes.
Ray Phoenix.
Wow, that sounds like a great matchup on paper. Was it any good?
I wish that I would have watched it more intently to be able to give you a correct answer.
Well, that seems like an AEW problem rather than a U problem. It's not like they've really done anything worthwhile to earn your attentiveness. Yeah. So there you go. But I'm guessing it was a successful defense because Hobbs is just getting started.
It was, yeah, it was a successful defense. That's true.
Here's one thing I have to ask. I don't know if you took note of this or not because of what you just said. Did QT Marshall have to get involved?
I don't think so. No, I don't think QT was around.
I actually like that. That's good because I love Phoenix, but I mean, if you look at Hobbs, that man should be able to handle his business.
Yeah.
So yeah, good move there.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't remember seeing QT get involved at least. I could just have missed it though, honestly. That being said though, can I just say the match order on Rampage last night was fucking ridiculous. Like, what the hell were they thinking?
Well, now I'm curious what the match order was, because was it that bad? Because I know sometimes they'll open with championship matches or like what
They
should be
did.
the main
The
event.
TNT Championship match opened the show, and Daniel Garcia beating, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Brody King closed the show.
Jesus Christ. Oh God. You know what's funny, dude? Garcia was mentioned on commentary in that four pillar segment, and I'm like, oh, Garcia. I remembered when I really gave a shit about him. God.
You mean when he almost got character progression and then just straight up didn't?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, that sounds
AEW.
like I could be describing so many people in AEW.
I know. Reminds me of that Batman Beyond line where like the main villain whose name I forget is like, "Who are you?" And then Terry's just like, "You killed my father. Do you know how little that narrows it down?" Oh my god. Yeah, that's AEW's problem. Who are you? You killed my push. There you go. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, Rampage has always had that problem, man. Or I shouldn't say problem, because I guess it's only a problem if they see it as such. But their card structures have always been so weird on that show because they'll have like championship matches open or big matches open, and it's like, so you know people don't watch this show and you want to give them the good stuff early so they can get out. Either you're really considerate or you're just senseless. So what's going on there? Yeah,
I sounded like Wario there for a moment.
indeed. Yeah. Um. So yeah, anything else from AEW?
Probably.
Yeah. Um God, I heard the JAS faced House of Black for the trios titles. Please tell me House of Black just retained.
I mean, I'm imagining so. Yeah, probably.
Okay. You know what? Clearly neither one of us really paid much attention to AEW, so just fuck AEW this week. Um
Was it?
and
Was it? Let me. What was the
it should have been Jericho,
date?
Sammy, and
Okay, here we go. Um. Okay, yeah, it was actually a three-way trios title match. It was the JAS, but it was also the Elite challenging House of Black, and House of Black did in fact retain.
okay.
Oh yeah, Orange Cassidy also retained the international championship against Jeff Jarrett. So that was the only other, I believe, other than the TBS title match we already talked about with Jade squashing Nicole Matthews. But yeah, those were the title matches on the show. And the only other match on the show was, again, a heel Blackpool Combat Club versus Hangman Page and the Dark Order. But it was the Dark Order. It was like the good version of the Dark Order. It was Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. It wasn't the fucking Beaver Boys this time.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And
Um
after that match, we got the return, or not after that match, after the end of the main event, after the end of the trios match, Hangman actually came out, and there was like a moment where the fucking Elite backed him up. So like, there's a chance that that might be a thing that's going on now.
oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because the
I still like me some
BCC are just
Hangman.
full blown heels at this point.
Yeah, that's really tragic, honestly. Nothing really more to say. I'm just so dispirited with fucking eight. I can't even muster commentary for them half the time anymore. It's like, what else is there to fucking say? You know, Jesus Christ. Um, Trying to think about Raw and SmackDown again. Not, I saw that that Liv and Raquel, I guess, will be challenging for the women's tag titles at Mania because they won some kind of contendership matchup. So
Really? I thought that was just for like a random ass four-way tag team women's match at Mania. I didn't think there were any title implications to that.
I just assumed it was going to be women's tag titles. Can anybody
Well,
like
because dude,
just
here's the
correct me
thing:
wrong?
if it was for the tag titles, the tag team champions would have to be a part of it. And right now, the tag team champions are Becky and Lita.
Oh, that's right. And they're doing.
The three on
Oh,
three with Trish against Damage Control.
okay. So it is just a four-way tag. Is it at least a number one contenders thing?
Well, the thing is, dude, we can assume it is, but they haven't made it official, so it's not safe to assume it is.
Okay. Oh my God.
I'm
All
telling
right.
you,
Well,
it's classic WWE to just make a random ass match and let people like imply or assume that it's one thing that it should be, and they're just like, no, 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 we never said that, so it's not that.
yeah. I have to agree. with Foster to a point. He said none of these women's matches feel important. The most important one so far really does feel like Bianca Asuka.
Yeah.
They had a pretty interesting segment where like Asuka took care of I believe it was Bianca took care of Chelsea Green. And then Asuka came out in a nice suit, I might add, and took Bianca's championship and was kind of playing around with it.
Yeah.
And Bianca's like, give me the title, give me the
She was
title.
like playing
And
like a guitar at one point almost.
yeah, Asuka's got so much charisma, bro. It's insane. Like, she's got more charisma to me than most English speaking wrestlers, and that's nuts because like her English is like okay, but we know that Asuka, it's never really been
I
commanding
mean,
like
dude,
say
at this
Shida
point, the
Callis.
fact that she's been living in the United States for what, like 6, 7, 8 years at this point, her English is pretty fucking bad relative to that.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
yeah,
mean, dude, here's the thing. I think we could probably agree Camille's English is better than hers, and Camille didn't live in America for that long. I don't think Camille lived in America for as long as Asuka has, and her experience of living in America was years ago, and she's been back in Japan for years now, and like so her English is still better than Asuka's is, even though Asuka's been living in America more like currently.
yeah. Although to Asuka's eternal credit, she's still forever over.
Oh
You
my
know, and
God,
like,
forever. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, perpetually.
yeah, you
In
can't take that away from her.
perpetuitum. What's the word? In
Perpetuity.
is it in perpetuity?
Yeah.
I thought it was like perpetuum. That's right. That's what I'm looking for. In perpetuum, right? That's a word, right?
I've never heard it.
No. Okay. Well, then just in perpetuity, you win.
Okay. Um, so yeah, she looks like she's about to give the belt back, and then she kind of bites the capsule with the mist and kind of blues her teeth. She blew herself, Michael. Um, and yeah, Bianca seems a bit unnerved. I will say though, even with that, oh wow, they're doing that, Foster, because I'm just reading like Asuka and Bianca are doing a can they coexist match against Carmella and Chelsea on Raw. And it's funny that I'm saying this, given that we just established the whole promo issue with Asuka or the whole English issue with Asuka. But like, not speaking good English doesn't mean you can't do a promo. We've seen Asuka do promos with, like her body language and
Oh
like
yeah.
Japanese. And if they would just subtitle it on freaking YouTube, you're still bringing in your audience for like the rewatch value. I don't think they've ever done that though, and that's like one little small thing that they could fucking do, especially when you're a global freaking company, for God's sakes. But I would have liked more promos between these two.
That's the quiet part.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I would have liked more promos between these two. I would have liked more character progression, really, really for both women, because Bianca. I think what was so great about her matches with Becky and Sasha, she had distinctive relationships with both women. I don't really feel like she's connected to Asuka beyond the championship. And I'm not saying that you always need a deeper relationship, but I feel like when you've got two people the caliber of these two, one would be kind of nice, at least from where I sit. But yeah, even then, I would still say like I agree with Foster's initial sentiment. He said none of these women's matches really feel important. I agree. I think Bianca Asuka still feels like the most important one. I think they've been trying with Rhea Charlotte, but the problem with that is, for me personally, I don't give a shit about Charlotte. I'm just desperately rooting for Rhea. Um, Javaris, I can't even really muster up the heart to blame you, honestly, if you want to do that. I'm going to be very curious looking at this card in totality when we preview and predict WrestleMania and just how we're feeling as a unit about this card. Because you already know we're not doing Cody Roman. We're not live reacting to that. We're skipping out of that shit because I am not going to see the end of this fucking title reign if it comes to fucking bitch ass Cody Rhodes. And if he loses, then I can go back later, watch him get pinned, and then just retroactively celebrate. So, um, and Foster, I think that's also a fair thing because Rhea has been a part of every segment, at least even at the very beginning, meaning the beginning of the segments that Dom has with Ray. And then maybe she takes her leave because Dom wants to handle things with Ray on his own. But she's like always very much in proximity to what they've got going on. So I think that's another very fair point. And then damage control and that whole story, it's like, okay, I can vibe with this, but again, Bailey doesn't even feel important right now. Honestly, damage control has already gotten to the point, and I fucking hate saying this, but it's already gotten to the point where I can't wait for Io to do her singles run. But maybe I should be able to wait because there's no guarantee that that would even be good. So
Can I say
she'll be
something
good.
actually about the just backtracking a tiny little bit about the Rhea Charlotte thing?
Of course.
I really, really fucking hope that whoever is in charge of booking whether it is Triple H or whether it is a committee or if Vince has anything to do with it or whatever the fuck, whoever is in charge of booking, whoever has creative control and makes the final decision, I really, really hope that they do not let the inevitable Charlotte politicking of she doesn't even care about this championship. She's too involved with this other feud with Rey Mysterio and Dominic influence them and cause them to not let Rio win the title at Mania.
Oh, dude, fucking hell. I wasn't even thinking about that, and then you bring that up. I mean, not your fault. It's a salient point, but fuck. Oh, God. Do we have to do WrestleMania? Because, like, I'm thinking about this card, man, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm about to be kicked in the nuts and I'm supposed to smile and like it? Like,
It's only 2 weeks
God.
away, bro. It's only 2 weeks away.
Oh, yeah, better go buy a cup. Fuck.
Literally 2 weeks to the day.
Even, like, you already know I don't give a shit about Seth Rollins, Logan Paul. And I've acknowledged that it's going to be a good match in ring, but I just fuck Logan Paul. Even John Cena, who has been amazing the last few years, like because it's theory. It just the most I care it really does seem to be Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos, and we've already kind of aired our complaints about that, so I'm not gonna retread them here. But it's like, man, I don't really know if there's any. I guess Oscar Bianca. I guess Oscar Bianca, because I was gonna say I don't really know if there's any like WrestleMania match that I'm really like emotionally invested in. And I guess after that, oddly enough, fucking Dom and Ray. Yeah, like fuck. I'm invested in Rhea Charlotte, but that's more just not the totality of it, but just Rhea getting what she fucking deserves, which is to be the top of the fucking division. Dude, when I saw Raquel and Liv win that tag match to be a part of this 4-way, which they'll probably just write in, hopefully that it's an organized match, my heart broke for Liv. I'm like, this woman is so over. People love her. You couldn't even give her like a personal women's match. See, so once again, they still have the same problem with women's wrestling. You're either wrestling for the championship or fuck you. Now, granted, Damage Control and their whole storyline, I guess it doesn't revolve around that, but a whole big antagonism has been the titles, the tag titles. Um, so like even then, it's kind of tangentially related to that, and it's like, God, you really couldn't give Liv like a personal feud with somebody, but that would require building somebody else up, and I really don't know who the fuck they've even built up. Oh, what, you're gonna trot out Lacey Evans for the millionth fucking time? I just, God. I really didn't intend to be this negative when we got on. I didn't feel this negative when we got on, but I'm really just starting to see things for what they are. And I'm like, oh my God. God. What else is there to talk about? Because I'm trying to, I mean, Maximum Male Models with Otis. That's actually one of the
Otis.
better underscore. Otis.
He
That's
changed
actually
his
one of
Twitter name, bro. It's official.
it's actually one of the better undercard stories going on. That, and I
Yeah.
will say, I I'm down for the triple threat that's happening with Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus. I just, we all knew it was gonna go there. I
That
just
feels
wish we would
so
have gotten
played
there.
out to me already.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great match, I think, though.
Wait.
Like as far as
Oh,
like
yeah.
in ring,
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
yeah, it's gonna be a hoss fight. Um, yeah, I'm still rooting for Sheamus though. Get that Grand Slam. I even liked his backstage promo after. It didn't seem like he was like going heel. He just seems really frustrated. Like, I've supported Drew every step of the way. He knows what this means to me. This is the one title I need for a Grand Slam, and he has to come in and meddle in my business again, and whatever. So I'm rooting for you, Sheamus. I feel like Drew's kind of had your number, but and then oh, Abel bring up Abel. I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I totally blanked that Brock is working with Amos. I actually totally fucking forgot about that.
Wait
How do
until
you feel
someone
about that, Ash?
reminds you who Bobby Lashley's supposed to be working with.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because well, with Bray injured, I don't even know what's happening
Apparently,
there.
Bray's not even injured. Apparently, that's some other shit. Might even be like a mental health thing.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm not. The man's been through a lot, so I don't know. I just hope he can come out of it okay.
The
Um,
prominent rumor that I've seen, which again, take it with a grain of salt, it's just a rumor, is that Barry Windham is having serious health concerns and might be dying or something.
I can substantiate that only because I know Angel a while back sent me, I think it was like an Instagram video of Bray talking about it, and they were doing a GoFundMe for his dad. So yeah, I know things aren't good over there, and really hope Bray's going to be okay. God. That's another thing, though. Like, if we're focusing on the wrestling, and you know, I don't want to seem like I'm swerving and being really insensitive. I wish I was more invested in Bray's story. It lost me so quick. I think it had too many moving parts. I think if he had just stuck, because I thought the story we were getting was just going to be a 1-to-1 Bray versus his demons. And that first promo where he's so vulnerable and he's crying, whether it was a work or not, or maybe a work shoot, maybe there was genuine emotion there, had me bawling my freaking eyes out. And now we're here. And it's like, God, I am so tired. And then you got Brock and Moss.
Their
Should
segment
we
on
start?
Raw was hilarious.
So are you actually into it? Because that's what I was gearing up to ask you. If you actually feel like you could vibe with this Brock and Moss Mania.
Yeah, God, it feels like a waste of Brock, but it's fun at least.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, man, because like Amos is a personality. He's gotten me to chuckle. I think he's got charisma there because his interactions with
There's
AJ, I remember
definitely
being like,
something there.
yeah. So like, I don't want to be mean and be like, is it time that we just stop trying to make Amos a thing? Because again, there is a personality. I just have to wonder if he should be more, and I hate that I'm even fucking saying this, if he should be more of like a Brodus Clay, like with the Funkadactyls and stuff, like more of a comedy based wrestler in that sense. But they seem to like want to make him, because of his presence and everything, like a bigger deal. Or maybe they can walk that line and make him like a bigger deal, but with like that humorous personality. I think they're trying too hard to suppress that charisma to make him like just your typical mean mugging kind of heel that just towers over everyone. Um, Foster said, "Nah, I love Brock Amos. I don't even know if it's good, but I ain't bored." Foster, honestly, with the state of American wrestling, good for you, my friend. Take it, run with it. Don't apologize to anyone for shit, because if it's making you not bored, you're at least feeling something, and that's at least the start. That's at least the start. Because yeah, I should go back and watch their segment because I remember the video that got posted. It was titled "Is Brock Afraid of Amos?" And I'm like, oh. So are we gonna kind of do kind of a quasi Big Show story back in '02 where it's like, can Brock even F5 Amos? And then he does it, and it's like the visual moment of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
You know, Hogan slamming Andre and shit. And but like the thing is, like, I can believe Brock to do it because like
he's
he's
Brock.
Brock.
Yeah.
He's a freak. Like, what? Like, it doesn't matter. Um, I don't know what else to talk about, man. I'm gonna be truthful with you. Yeah,
Amos could
we
be literally 650 pounds, and I'd be like, oh, that'll be tough, but still, it's Brock, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me have the same energy because I'm like, ooh, that tough for everyone else. Brock, show him how it's done. And then he just does it. And then I'm like, okay, go back to plowing for like 6 months or whatever you're doing on that fucking farm. It's like, okay, securing that bad dude. I mean, it's gonna be an easy match for Brock. It's gonna be an easy match for both guys. I mean, and you know, apparently WrestleMania paydays are really freaking good. So there you go.
They used to
Um
be before the WWE Network.
that yeah, that's god damn it. God damn it. Yeah, Foster pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. Brock could F5 the arena, and it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that dude again, Barika. Um, so yeah,
It
I
sounded
I
like you
think
said Eureka with an F at the beginning.
nice. Furica. See, that's yeah. Ooh,
Ooh,
you know
that
what?
got different. That gave me the little
It,
tinglies down my spine.
I'm playing with it in private later. I'm doing things. Anyway, I'm gonna pocket that. Yeah, I feel like I've left myself dead inside, so I really have nothing else to really talk about as far as this week. I did no extracurricular watching, by the way, so I'll get ahead of that as well.
Yeah, no, me
Um,
neither.
so yeah, you know what? I think I'm ready to open up the forum to questions because this chat has been the
Sweet.
most lively thing, and it's really kept me going. So you beautiful, beautiful people, if you have any questions about this week in the world of wrestling, do let us know. We've opened the forum. Let's do this. Pterodactyl not
Let's
included.
conversate.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about Omas?
Again, his personality. I remember when he was running with AJ, and he seemed to have some really funny lines and like an understated charisma. It's good shit. I think he's genuinely humorous. Um, what is Solo's role? Actually, no, I'll let you answer, Ashton, because obviously questions are for both of us. Do you have any different thing about Amos, or did I just kind of sufficiently answer for both of us?
That tracks. Yeah, no, that's good.
What is Solo's role going to be in the storyline? I would just say Roman's hitman. Six him on people. It's like, oh, Sammy's getting a little uppity lately with those promos. Why don't you go and thumb that throat?
Thumb that throat. We need a shirt on that. Thumb that throat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he beat KO in a street fight on Monday. That was interesting. So, yeah, they're definitely
He
pushing
needs
him.
to start low blowing people so that we can have a catchphrase: thumbing throats and kicking scrotes.
Um, Amazing. And see, like that, I'm back in. Um, so yeah, any other questions, people? As I pet my beautiful cat that just makes me feel so happy.
Oh, Wookie.
She's magnificent.
She is beautiful.
Indeed. I think she's wanted to be let out for a while, but I know the show's almost over, so I can let her out afterwards. We haven't gotten any questions already, and I feel like I've kept the forum open sufficiently, so
Now they're coming in.
okay.
Abel said, people say Cody is the favorite to win at WrestleMania. That would mean Roman is the underdog, but he's the big dog. Roman will retain. Agree?
Maybe. I don't know. Abel, I'll be honest, I was gearing up to be like, no, but I never like using that tone with you as my surrogate child. So instead, I'll say that I'm really afraid that Cody's going to win, but I hope he fails. If anybody deserves to have their dreams unrealized, it's, well, the American nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So,
And
yeah,
then
hope
Alex
he fails.
Foster, actually, with a related question. If Cody loses at Mania and they split the titles at Mania, who does he sadly beat for the WWE title?
Honestly, might as well make it Seth again because I'm trying to think about people that could believably beat Roman for the WWE title. Seth kind of has Roman's number low key.
True.
So you have Seth beat Roman, and then Cody just beat Seth for the fourth fucking time. So yeah, there's that
He
raspberry.
beat him with a torn fucking pec.
Oh god, that Kurt Angle energy. Seth, I buried you with a torn freaking back. Oh, I hate everything so much. Okay. Ashton, do you have anything with these questions? Do you have any other answer besides Seth for the WWE title? And do you think Roman will retain for pertaining to Abel's question?
I have wishful thinking that Roman will retain, but I don't actually expect it.
I feel like we need a hug circle. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe that
That
I'm
would be
getting. I don't know.
nice.
Yeah, and then Jay beats Roman with the honestly, Foster, I'm sold on it personally. Fuck it. I think Jay's character progression, the idea that like he hasn't found it in himself to do what needs to be done, and then Sammy really what sold me on it, Foster, if you want the truth, was this past Friday with Sammy like calling him out the way that he did. Not about the staying in the abusive relationship part, because I did agree with you on that. I'm talking about when he said, "You're not mad at me because of this. You're mad because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You didn't hit him with the chair." I feel like and then when Jay looked away after he said that, it's like, okay, you know what? You've sold me because maybe Roman can only be defeated from the inside, from the one guy that tried to resist him from the outset before all of this spiraled out of control. And yeah, I think narratively, you can't deny that the structure's there. And if you would, then either you're just not a Jey Uso fan, which is valid, or there's some other reason going on there, which someone would have to explain to me because I feel like absolutely the bones are there.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Sonata left Lij.
Yes, courtesy of Chief and for filling the gaps in on that because we talked about that on Friday in the Discord. To join just five guys
It was
now.
just 4 guys at the time, but they are now just 5 guys. Yeah, they're really going after the restaurant chain, huh?
Yeah. Look, if Sonata wins New Japan Cup,
Worth it.
fuck it, burn the whole goddamn thing to the ground. I don't give a baker's fuck. But
Baker's fuck? Is that like 13 fucks?
yeah, probably. And so, but I still think, and I'm just gonna get this out there. Um, David Finlay is going to win the New Japan Cup, and I'm going to
God
keep saying
damn
it until I'm
it!
proven wrong. You know what? Don't you know it's not me that's the problem here.
No, you're not the problem. It's you being right about New Japan sucking that's the problem.
But maybe we're wrong, and maybe Sonata can give us hope. I don't know. I want to
He's the
believe
only
in something.
one. He's the chosen one.
I want to believe in something so bad, and it's so hard. Oh God! So look, Sonata has to win, and Foster said, "Do y'all understand why I hate Taichi so much now?" Look, bro, he's a real life piece of shit, but the pants though. um, by the way, Abel,
Are
of
we
course.
justifying our hatred with Taichi because Sonata betrayed Lij
I mean, did he
to
really
join
though?
him?
When even Chiefin said it was an amicable leave, and actually made logical sense. Why would I stay in a group whose leader I just beat? Which, like, what a low key burial of Naito, by the way.
I feel
You're a
like
leader.
we've
You're a
had
leader, and
instances of people in factions beating their faction leader plenty of times, and they didn't leave the faction because of it.
because maybe being a leader is more than just getting the dub. Well,
Yeah,
Javaris clearly vehemently disagrees with it because he's telling Ghetto to get off the crack. I mean, damn. Um, but Foster also countering saying, but he beat Taichi before, so that doesn't make sense either. You're
true,
all right, Foster.
true. That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's bullshit.
God, isn't Foster just perfect? Handsome and can make rational counter arguments. You're a fucking king, dude. God damn. But anyway,
See, now this is where I have to question what Curtis said, because do we actually know for certain that Sonata said that he was leaving Lij because he didn't have any reason to stick around in a faction where he beat the leader, or was that just Curtis justifying it in his own mind and giving us that reasoning?
that is true.
He has done that before.
All right, well, we'll have to see. But either way, I'm hoping Sonata wins the New Japan Cup to kind of bring it back to the, focal point of departure here. What did Abel say? Sonata just wants to be the leader of five guys eventually and get all the free food. It's a master plan, Abel. Foster Naito even said, "Bro, if you didn't feel you could shine with us, why would you shine with them?" Shingo shined.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, Naito spitting the facts though. Damn, but like New Japan, you're making yourself look so bad because like Sonata should have been shining already. Um, so yeah, look, Sonata needs to win the New Japan Cup. If he doesn't, David Finlay is. And then to be quite honest,
Bro,
just I mean,
I feel like our fandom of New Japan hangs in the balance right now. Like, if they really give it to David fucking Finlay, I don't know how we can continue watching this company.
I am 1.5 feet like off the edge.
Yeah.
Like I
And
like if
like
I'm
if
being
David Finlay wins the New Japan Cup, it's the other half foot off. If Sonata wins it, we're back to only having 1 foot off the ledge instead of 1.5.
yeah, because here's the thing, like I'm just gonna be honest though, and I think you could all sense this, especially those of you that listen to our Wrestle Kingdom reactions. I'm kind of done already in a way with New Japan, but again, like they say in the mob, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. You're dangling Sonata in front of me. Now you can do this and you can fucking commit, or you can go with David Finlay, and in which case I will. I will unequivocally say, fuck you. I'm already look, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm excited potentially about like saying fuck you to the G1 because what's it gonna be again? Just somebody facing Okada only to lose? Like everything we said about TJPW this morning, you've already said about New Japan to your credit, because I remember at Wrestle Kingdom you were talking about like all these guys are so old and it doesn't seem like they're making new guys fast enough. Sonata's already like what? He's the same age as Okada. Isn't Sonata already like 34?
Yeah.
And like we're hoping that he gets his like. Are you fucking kidding me? Like
35 actually, by the way.
35? Yeah, like God, people just drop me in chat if you want to be a part of the fucking hug circle, because you know what, we're doing it, we're fucking doing a hug circle, probably in the Discord or some shit, and I know you're all part of the Discord. If anybody needs a hug circle about New Japan or WWE or any fucking shit, because so much wrestling is just bad to me right now, I'm sorry, but yeah, either Sonata wins or it's fuck you New Japan, honestly, because I don't care for Tamatanga anymore. You don't get to have a Maven face and then walk back into this fucking house, okay? Fuck you.
Bro,
um
straight up, if it was Tongaloa instead of Tamatonga, I might actually be excited for it because I fucking love Tongaloa. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, Tongaloa, and before like, well, he's actually sticking around because he beat Jay White. You know that I'm a fan of Hikuleo. If it was Hikuleo in the spot, I'd be excited because like I like the dude. But I agree with you on Tongaloa as well. Oh, Foster said one ticket for Hug Circle, please. Foster, you can have all the tickets you need. But yeah, Sonata has deserved this for so long. Even my boy Angel, who is the premier Okada mark to the point where he showed off today an Okada collection figure that he got. loves Okada, adores Okada. He has even said it's Sonata's fucking time, and it's been Sonata's fucking time. I don't want Okada to win if Sonata's on the table. That's coming from him. And like New Japan's just like, nah, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna pass. Do this, New Japan, or fuck off forever, because I'm over it. So yeah.
God, I
Abel,
can't wait for us to stop watching New Japan, and then 5 years later we start hearing about how much better it's gotten, and we start watching it again, and it's like, wait, this is just the same thing,
yeah,
and it's
you're
just
pretty much
Impact all over again.
yes, dude. I was about to say it's Japanese Impact. Oh my god, New Japan Nande. So yeah. According to Tonga, Tongaloa is making progress after surgery. Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Um,
What kind of surgery? Do you know?
yeah, I'd be curious to know that as well. And Foster even said he wants the Hug Circle ticket, even if Sonata wins because of the booking. And you know what? I could even understand that because here's the thing: even if Sonata wins, you're right, Ashton, about there still being 1 foot off the ledge because he's still a part of a faction when like he had such a rich history with LIJ and it makes no sense. And apparently it was an MCL tear.
I'm 1 foot off the ledge, and I'm thinking.
God, fuck Creed, but at the same time, the music is genuinely still good. I still listen to it and get feels. That's my confession for the commentary, I guess. And then like if he loses to Okada, it's like, oh, okay. Okay.
Then
So
your soul just dies inside.
yeah. I want
God,
to care about. You know what? I've
bro,
had
can I just
self-love
say, imagine a
yeah.
world where TJPW is creating stars at a faster rate than New Japan.
Oh, fuck you, universe.
When was the last
Like,
time an actual new star was created by New Japan? It was Jay White, obviously, but like, how long ago was that?
it feels like forever ago.
2019, maybe?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
meanwhile, Mizuki just got made last night.
Yeah, first of all, yes, she did. Second of all, Foster, Japanese Impact. Is Yoshihashi going to cut a promo asking where the lie
I mean,
is?
thankfully, I don't think Yoshihashi is problematic. So, at the very least, we've got that going for us.
For now. For now. Uh, I'm so dead inside. God damn it. Oh, Stardom. Don't ever betray me, Stardom, emotionally. Don't don't make me
Dude, if we can emotionally survive Kid intentionally staying in Oedo Tai even after Mayu won her back, and then Momo's betrayal, they've got us hooked for maybe not life, but for through thick and thin. Let's just put it that way.
don't you ever make me a Tim Mantha, Stardom. I can't handle it. I can't do it. Um
A Timothy.
so yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna open the forum back up for questions. That was quite a fun, painful, agonizing ride there. Anybody else have anything?
Abel did
Wanna,
request one admission into the hug circle. I don't know if you acknowledged that.
oh, absolutely. Able all the tickets you want, all the tickets Foster wants. Javaris, I'm gonna give you a ticket too, even though you didn't request one, just because it seems like you really need one, and that's just me looking out for you more than anything. Yeah, it's everybody in the chat was also in the hug circle. My, how that fucking
I
happens.
have been told by multiple people that I give amazing hugs, so.
That's incredible. All right, well, anybody have any other questions? Because Javaris just stating that Ibushi leaving was his foot out the door, and yeah,
Abel in chat, I'm more excited for this hug circle than anything in wrestling.
yeah, hug circle is gonna be dope. And Javaris is like, yeah, I really do need one. We got you, we got you. Um, I needed to vent about Sonata, and I'm glad we're all pretty mad about it to an extent. Thanks, y'all. Foster, if you ever want to really just vent your depression and anger about pro wrestling, you know this will always be the right place to come to. Shame on them for the reserves I've been able to fucking stock up. But yeah, I guess that's it. So let's go to high spot, low shots. Low shot, my fucking mood after all this. No, I will say low shot. I'm gonna stab myself again because it's the good kind of hurt after a while.
Oh
Miyu Watanabe
no!
for losing the International Princess Championship.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you,
did.
TJPW. I really you either love getting stomped on the nads or you just perpetually hate it. And yeah, it's starting to be that good kind of hurt, I guess, if I gaslight myself enough. So thanks. Who's your low shot?
Nicole Matthews.
Damn, we both picked women for very different reasons. I like that though.
Yeah, it's a real shame what happened to mine, and it's a real shame what happened to yours too. So yeah, uh, twinsies.
That's why we're making the hug circle, brother. That's
Yeah,
why we're making the
I
hug
could
circle.
really use one too. You know, the
High
problem
spot.
with being known as the person that gives great hugs is who do you get your hugs from?
Oh my god. Um, I'm sorry. The way I said, "Oh my god," just made me think of a Family Guy cutaway. But anyway, um, high spot. I'm gonna say Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita.
Nice.
Their title win genuinely made me happy. Thrilled for them. Love them both. And I'm just excited that Maki's story, even after all this time, can find ways to develop nuance and richness, which shows that storylines don't have to degrade and suffer. You can find ways if you're creative enough and bold enough, and I think they've done that putting the tag titles on these two. So,
I mean,
who's
you
your high
you
spot?
gave me the lowest hanging fruit possible. My high spot is Mizuki, easily.
Fuck yeah, brother. You know what? Honestly, I feel like you deserved it because it's been a pretty depressive cycle this week, apparently. So yeah, I know you were really happy that Mizuki won. I only wasn't happier because I'm not as plugged into the lore. I mean, I guess I am because we watched Joe Sizzle's stuff, but like, I guess attentively immersed in the lore would be a better way to say. Because I'm dialed in on fucking
Ooh,
Stardom.
you really
Um,
enunciated the shit out of that word. I'm so proud of you. You gave me the tinglies again.
oh, I know. I gave it to myself. Yeah, poor Wookie really wants out of here, so we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, you're more zoned in on Mizuki and have been like so supportive of her, which I think is great. And I'm happy for her too. But yeah, Maki and Miyu really did it for me, and Mizuki did it for you. So good on TJPW, Grand Princess, great show. So with that said, guys, this has been this week in review. This has been TwitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. It's my core and commentary. Guys, be sure to check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And Sunday is our day of rest, so we've got no recordings going on. You can all just chill, enjoy yourselves, and we will be back Monday for Stardom, March 12th, live reactions, the Toki show. So it should be good. It's going to be a Stardom heavy week this week, y'all. I am excited. We have got a lot of Stardom on the fucking ballot, but I'm only going to talk about Monday because I want us to get out of here. My poor cat is jonesing to get out, seemingly. Then I'm going to open the door and she's going to stare at me and be like, no, I don't want to leave. So we'll see you guys Monday at 4 for that. Should be a great show. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.